Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It is Monday, the 12th day of August. Today is National Vinyl Record Day. I haven't celebrated that in years, but I remember
oh my gosh,
back in the day we did.
I haven't even played a record
I know.
in years.
We have some. I moved them not too long ago. Baseball Fans Day, International Youth Day today, or Ute if you're Cousin Vinny. Milkman Day, National Gooey Butter Cake Day. Oh,
that does sound pretty amazing.
World Elephant Day.
I love elephants.
Middle Child Day. Yes, I will be celebrating today. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I am a middle child. Julienne Fries Day today as well, so I'm going to have Julienne's fries. Oh, that's not what those are. It's also a Movie Star Monday, and my guest for today is Clark Freeman. Clark's in several films, but he's in one that we're going to chat quite a bit about. It's called We Go On. Now, it was released a while ago, and then it was recently re-released. So we're going to chat all about We Go On coming up here in just a bit.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. What does the perfect summer look like for you? Lots of road trips, camping, backyard barbecues, golf? Well, according to a new survey, the absolute ideal summer must include the following 14 days with loved ones. So they need 14 days with loved ones. They need 8 sunrises watched. They need 11 dips in the water. That is from a poll of 2,000 U.S. adults. They found that some of the most enjoyable things about summer, spending time with family and friends, was number one. Enjoying barbecues came in right behind that. Longer days, warmer weather, and swimming. It says, I hate to be negative, but people were also asked about things that they didn't like. What could ruin your beautiful summer? The top answer was too much heat, followed by being sick or injured. The average person expects to have to deal with one sunburn and go through 2 bottles of sunscreen. So what about you, Heidi? What do you think is the best thing about summer?
I would say the spending time with family, like the barbecues and that sort of thing with family.
Yeah, for me, it's spending time with Heidi because we don't see each other very much.
We just really never see each other. It's pretty sad.
We're together 23 hours a day. I mean, got to use a restroom once in a while. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by Genesis Gold, IRA.com. Heidi, did you know that Viagra, when dissolved in water, can help cut flowers stand up for about a week longer than they usually would, so they won't wilt? Yeah. So that's kind of interesting.
That is very interesting.
It's a good use for something like that if you got some of those laying around.
That would be a pretty expensive way to keep
Yeah,
flowers.
I have
but
no idea. I've never bought any, so I have no idea, but I've been told it's not cheap.
You've
I don't
never
know.
bought flowers? I can attest to that.
Yeah, that either. We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by radiosavings.com. Maya Rudolph has been sworn back into service at Saturday Night Live. She's going to
she has.
be playing Vice President Kamala Harris through the 2024 presidential election. Season 50. Can you believe it's season 50?
I really can't.
And here's the thing. Saturday Night Live started in 1975. I was born in 1975, so I certainly don't remember the first few seasons, but it's been a part of the airwaves my entire lifetime.
Yep.
And season number 50 will premiere September 28th, and it says she was preparing to shoot season 3 of her Apple TV comedy series Loot, and they pushed that back to allow her to return to Saturday Night Live. She first played Harris in December of 2019, and she won an Emmy for the actress.
Oh, wow.
So for guest actress in a comedy series. So she did quite well, apparently. So there you go. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by radiosavings.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Manu Solidaire is not an Olympic athlete, but he's doing great things in Paris. The 33-year-old TikToker spends hours preparing dozens of meals in his tiny kitchen. Then he hops on a bicycle and distributes this food to people living on the streets of Paris.
Aww.
Takes more than 350,000 followers along every step of the way as well. And they tune in and they help.
That must be a big vehicle.
No, they're just along for the ride with videos. But they turn in and help crowdfund his efforts. Last year, he won TikTok's El Award d'Honneur. I think that's the French version of an award of honor. I don't know. I don't speak no French, but I think that's what it was. After seeing that people's needs went beyond food, he expanded his efforts by distributing hygiene supplies and even some paying for hotel rooms from time to time. I think that's really cool.
That's pretty great.
And again, there are people who go, he's only doing it for the followers. Okay, here's the thing. But he's doing something good. So I understand what you're saying. Do it just to do it. You don't need a camera to do it. But the money that he's making from those followers is what he's pouring into helping. So again, I think that's kind of cool. And this is a fun story. British-Canadian resident was a victim of gnome napping. In June, Kelly Blair was sad to discover that his beloved, albeit weathered, worn gnomes had gone missing from his front lawn. Having already had a few go missing over the years, he grimly accepted the fact that his tiny men were likely never to be seen again. But then, a month later, a woman showed up at his door, handed him an envelope addressed only to the homeowner. Inside was a paper gnome with Gnome Preservation Society written on the back.
What?
The mysterious woman led him to a car where he found all of his gnomes had been cleaned and meticulously painted.
Oh my gosh, that is adorable.
The woman would only offer that the society wishes to remain anonymous. Blair is thrilled to have gotten his gnomes back, even though this random act of kindness was kind of bizarre. He's amazed at the handiwork of the Gnome Preservation Society, saying the detail is incredible. So I think that's cool.
That is so
It's weird.
crazy.
That could have been my weird news, but it was here. Part of your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
This Movie Star Monday, we visit with Clark Freeman. Clark has been on a bunch of great TV shows. Netflix's Narcos Mexico, NCIS Hawaii, Teen Wolf, and a whole bunch more. Also the 2022 horror film, The Harbinger. And he's got a new project out right now. It's called We Go On Remastered. And this is a very interesting film, but also kind of a scary film, Clark.
Thank you. I like how it's scary and interesting at the same time. Appreciate it.
Well, and the thing is, I was watching it just thinking, oh, this is gonna be kind of fun, and then I was like, whoa, this is kind of scary.
It definitely takes a dark turn there. I'm not gonna lie.
So now I'm assuming this is probably not based on a true story, is it?
No. If it is, if somebody says so, please let me know. No. It's about Miles Grissom, this adult man who's afraid of everything, who gets some money and decides to put an ad in the newspaper asking for definitive proof of life after death, because he feels if he knows that we go on after we die, that he doesn't have to be so afraid in this life. And his mom sees the ad in the paper and then comes up and goes on a little bit of a ghost hunting trip with him. So it's kind of a buddy horror movie, as it were.
Yeah, and the buddy part is the part that I was like, oh, this is fun. And then the horror part is I'm like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah, he definitely learns way more than he ever thought he would.
Now, in this, Annette O'Toole plays your mom. Was it pretty fun to work with her? She seems like a sweetheart.
Oh, my God. She's the absolute best. That's what I stand by it. I was just at her house a couple months ago, again, doing the commentary track for it, and she is the sweetest. We've remained friends constantly since filming this movie. So she's the best.
Now, you've had a chance to do a lot of great projects, many things on television, NCIS, Hawaii, Narcos, all of these programs that are TV shows where you get to be a character for a long, long time. And then you've got a project like this where you do a movie and you're just that character for a short while. Do you have a preference when it comes to that? Do you like kind of sinking your teeth into a character that you get to be for maybe a decade or so?
That's a great question. If I were a character for a decade, that would be fantastic. But I think the main difference is with TV, with film, you get the whole arc of the character, right? So you get to see the whole thing from top to bottom. You get to craft what happens. With TV, sometimes you have to go in with an idea because you don't know episode 1 really where it's going to end up at episode 10 because they haven't written the script yet. So you go in with an idea of an arc or an interesting things you can put out there, and then you kind of have to ride the wave of where the writers take you. And I love them both. I'm not going to lie. Recently, I've done more television, but I would love to get back into the film space and sink my teeth into another full arc like that.
Nice. And one of the other things, I suppose, with a TV show, you never know how long it's going to be on. So when you start in season 1, episode 1, that could be you for just one season, or it could be you for, 6 seasons or 8 seasons. You have no idea, I suppose, when it comes to that, do you?
No. My sister's actually on a show right now called The Righteous Gemstones, and they're about to film season 4. And it's crazy every year. You sign up for a couple years to begin with just to see if it goes, and then it becomes a hit, hopefully, and then you keep going. And yeah, she's had to move down to Charleston basically half the year because of the show. So it depends where it goes. And like when I was working on Narcos, I was down in Mexico City most of the time, flying back and forth. So it turns you into a bit of a carny lifestyle in terms of traveling, but it's worth it.
So Narcos was actually filmed in Mexico City?
Oh yeah. Most of it was filmed in Mexico City and Puerto Vallarta and this small town called San Luis Potosí, which is right in the middle of the action, so to speak.
And how about NCIS Hawaii? Was that filmed in Hawaii?
It was funny. I was just talking about this. It usually is, but the role I had was on a crossover episode, so I got to film all my stuff in sunny Burbank, California. So I did not go to Hawaii.
Oh, and where did they film We Go On? Because that in the movie, there's some really fun scenes in there. Where was that filmed?
We Go On is filmed right in the middle of Los Angeles. There's a lot of Los Angeles you don't get to see usually in films and stuff, and I think We Go On got it. There was one great scene right at the end of the runways at LAX. So these giant planes are just taking off over us the whole time, and there's some crazy corners of the city that I had never seen before.
Well, that's awesome. Again, the new film is out right now, We Go On Remastered, and I'm going to throw a link to make it easy to find, and the trailer so you can see what we're talking about. Again, Clark Freeman has been our guest. Clark, thank you for your time, sir.
Hey, of course. Pleasure to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Again, our guest today has been Clark Freeman. The film is called We Go On Remastered. It's available now. I've got a link to the trailer and to the film and all of the details in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Blue-eyed people have higher alcohol tolerance. So that's good to know.
I would have to agree with that.
Say, the look on your face told me you had something to say. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The first transaction of Bitcoin was to buy a pizza for 10,000 Bitcoin.
I knew that.
Which is now worth over $12 million.
Yes.
Yeah, I got 2 pizzas, by the way, for what is now worth $12 million. Fun
Crazy.
fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
People born during the month of September and November are most likely to live to be 100. So that's good to know.
Wow.
Sadly, Heidi missed it by an inch.
That's
she was born
okay.
at the end of August.
I'm okay with that. I don't think I want to live to be 100, honestly.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Australians used to name hurricanes after unpopular politicians. Now, I think we should go back to that. That would be fun.
I kind of like that,
And
actually.
our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The unique smell of rain actually comes from plant oils, bacteria, and ozone.
I love the smell
Me too.
of rain.
Several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com. Interesting question here, Heidi. It might sound weird, but 21% of people admit that they have tried to make themselves smell better by rubbing this on themselves. What is it?
Oh my gosh.
I don't think we even have these.
I have no idea.
Dryer sheets. Do we have dryer sheets?
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Well, you would know or I would know. If neither of us know, that means we probably don't have any.
We probably don't have any.
Who else would be doing our laundry? Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A British woman is trying to find a new home for her collection of 163 bedpans. Yeah.
What?
She tried to sell them at auction, and somehow they didn't sell.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine
Yeah,
why.
Mary Jacobs, the owner of what might be Europe's largest collection of bedpans, started her unusual hobby while helping out with rummage sales for the Salvation Army back in 1984. Well, now she has 163 different types of bedpans, and she has a wee problem. She's run out of room to store them. Her attempt to unload these bedpans at auction failed to attract even a single bidder. She says, I quote, "I hope they go to a good home. They're clean, they're washed, and they're in fantastic condition." I would hope. So if anybody is looking for, bedpans, and here's the thing. Who am I to say that's a weird collection?
That's a weird collection.
It is. I collect radios, but, I'm weird as well. Weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Time now for the list brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. I'm going to start this today. I'm going to probably have this for a couple of days, though. It's Origins of Common Sayings, like the elephant in the room. You've heard that before, right?
I have absolutely heard that.
So I didn't know what it meant, but here's what it comes from a story from 1814 called The Inquisitive Man, and there's a character at a museum who failed to notice an actual elephant in an actual room.
Okay.
So then people, because of that story, started saying it. The first time it was actually used, like in writing as the idiom, was in 1959 in the New York Times. So the story was from 1814, and it took till 1959 for somebody to actually write it down.
Huh.
So that's kind of weird. How about to turn a blind eye? We've heard that before, right?
I've heard that. Yes,
well,
I have.
This comes from 1801, a British naval hero, Horatio Nelson, who had one good eye and one not so good eye, and a superior officer flagged him to withdraw. He held the spyglass up to his bad eye and said, "Yeah, I didn't see the signal." And he went on to score a decisive victory, by the way. But he turned a blind eye. That's where that comes from. Thanks for listening to The List, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis by allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com. Our quote today is from Robert Louis Stevenson. It says, "Marriage, a friendship recognized by the police."
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know about the police, but by the government for sure. Yeah, marriage, a friendship recognized by the police. I love that. All right, quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com. By the way, if you have a fun quote that you come across in your, scrollings on the internet, you can share that with me at the bottom of the page at johnandheidishow.com. This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. Here's a headline. Teacher crochets personalized mini-me dolls for each student as a heartfelt end-of-year gift. This is kind of cool.
Oh, how sweet.
Oxford, England is where this is happening. These dolls have been given to the student for years. It says it's an intricate and thoughtful creation. They've not only delighted children, but also garnered widespread admiration. So there's people that are going, oh, I wish I was in her class. Sarah Shabir is a third-grade teacher. According to the Oxford Mail, her inspiration for the project came from her deep affection for her students and her desire to give them a memorable and special gift. It says the idea came from me just wanting to do something special and exciting for my class, whom I adore. She taught herself to crochet during COVID lockdowns, explaining the project was also a way for her to enhance her crocheting skills. Said, I learned to crochet self-taught during the lockdowns, and I've been creating things ever since. So I wanted to push myself and make these dolls to build my own skills as a crocheter.
That's so fun.
One appreciative parent took to social media to share a photo of the dolls, praising her for creativity. It says, my daughter's Y3 teacher is the absolute GOAT. That's the greatest of all time.
Yes, it is.
She single-handedly crocheted a mini-me of each kid in her class at the end of the year. Approximately 8 hours per doll. Even the hairstyles and clothing are spot on. What a legend.
Oh my gosh, that is so great.
Yeah, it really is. It's pretty cool. I've got a link to the story, and I'm looking at the photos here, and I'm going to tell you, and this might be an unpopular thing to say, but they're kind of creepy too. So I'm going to just... I mean, this almost looks like it could be.
I mean, how could you crochet something that...
I know. They're adorable. They are adorable. But I also think that, if I had somebody, copy or crochet a little mini-me and hand it to me, thank you.
A little weirded out.
Like, why does this one have needles poking out of it? I don't know. Again, I think it is adorable. So I probably shouldn't have said they're creepy, because they're not creepy, but creepy light. How's that sound? All right. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to The John and Heidi Show.